everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. Today is Monday, November 29th, and because it's a Monday, it's time for What's Sold on eBay. It's been a while since I've done one of these. In fact, I haven't done a What's Sold on eBay in all of November. So what I'm going to do today is go over all of the highlights of our sales from the month, but I'm not going to include plush or jeans. I will, as always, come out with a plush-centric and jeans-centric video for the month of November, and I will cover every single piece of plush that's sold on the eBay platform in all of November and the highlights of our jeans sales. I'm hoping to get back into the groove of things and start putting out these What Sold on eBay videos every Monday. We've just been super busy. We've got a lot going on over here. So without further ado, let's jump right on in with what you're looking at. This is I've been watching for a month or two, actually. You'll know that we had come across some video games and we had paid maybe 10 to 50 cents per game. We got a huge bulk lot of them, and they were all in these yellow envelopes. So we didn't have the cases, and in some instances we had the manual, and in some instances we did not. We took the time to go through all of the video games. The ones that didn't comp at $12 on their own or higher will be lotted up and sold as lots later. The ones we wanted to sell individually, we wanted to at least sell for $12 or more. Of course, having the manual makes them worth more money, and not having the case makes them worth a little bit less in some instances. But some of these older games for the older systems are surprising. Like this one, it sold for a best offer of $29, and they ship first class. So what we do is we put the game inside the yellow envelope in between two pieces of cardboard and tape it securely so it kind of like acts as a back and front protector. And then we bubble wrap that really well, and then we put it in a bubble mailer, but they still ship first class. So, I mean, if you ever have a chance to buy a huge lot of video games and you can see one or two in there that are going to be worth this much money, $30, I would say risk it, because we found, a handful that were worth a lot of money. You're going to see a really nice sale at the end of this video. And then you're going to have a lot of bread and butters, but it's definitely worth it if you're paying like 10 to 50 cents a game. You're also going to see a lot of remotes in this video, because right now that is what we are selling a lot of. Remote controls themselves have a 1 to 2% sell-through rate. I love remotes probably just as much as I love plush, and they are a lot easier than jeans because there's no measurements. I mean, you literally take 3 pictures and they're very easy to comp. If you don't know how to comp them, I did a video about a month ago on how to comp remotes. I'll have that pop up at the end for you to kind of help you out. But remotes are a really, really good way to make reselling money, especially if you buy them in lots or buy wholesale. So the different remotes are going to sell for different amounts of money. They range anywhere from $10 upwards to $100. It depends on the brand, the model, and what the remote goes to. The more rare remotes, like these projector remotes, are going to go for more money than, say, just a regular old Universal by Sony that there's millions of. So if you're buying them like one by one, if you're finding them at thrift stores or garage sales or church sales, you probably want to comp them before you purchase. Just because if you're buying them one by one, you want to make a little bit more profit. When you get them in bulk, you just list everything willy-nilly. I mean, we do. We sell them if they're $10, and we sell them for more than that because we get them for such a low cost of goods. So these projector remotes are good if you find them like as a one-off. Here's a pair of American Eagle jeans. American Eagle is one of my favorite bread and butter brands, and I know I said I was not going to include jeans in this video, but I wanted to show you guys these because they are new with tags, and they are American Eagle, and they fetched $31.99. Our cost of goods was 99 cents on these. Don't overlook those mall brands or those run-of-the-mill bread and butter brands, especially if you find them with tags. They will still get a good price tag on them. And these were a size 10, which is like, an average middle size that usually doesn't sell very well, but they're new at tags. And they sold, again, for $31.99, and they shipped in a padded flat. Next up, we have this Sony PlayStation console and accessories lot. So we purchased 2 lots of video games. The first one was the big box of the video games in those yellow envelopes without cases. And then we got another lot with the Sony PlayStation and Xbox and a whole bunch of video games in their original plastic cases that you're familiar with, that you've seen like at Walmart and Target. And we got a really good deal. It was like $50 for everything in that lot. I mean, it was one of those like once in a lifetime deals. So the Sony PlayStation has sold for $40, and it obviously had to go priority. But fortunately, it's so close by. We shipped it for like $10. And between this and the video games that have already sold out of that lot, we are already making a profit. And hopefully the Xbox will sell soon. We've got that up now, and the rest of the video games. But this is just another example of, what you can do with a lot. You can break it up and sell your games separately. We put a couple of games with the controllers. But yeah, you can always break things up separately or sell them all together. You just have to kind of do your research on the back end and see what things are selling for and what way is going to make you the most profit. Here's another remote. This is a Fire TV remote control, and it is an Insignia Toshiba. It's sold for $29.99. Now, you guys know the Amazon Fire Sticks, and those remote controls, brand new, can sometimes go for $30. So this is a nice one to find used if you can find it. Oh, another pair of jeans. We'll just skip past those. I will put those in the jeans video. This is a Yamaha remote control. So this is one of the ones that's also a little more rare or different. It's remote control transmitter KX. So if you find the Yamahas in the wild, go ahead and pick them up. This one sold for $21.99. Here we have a Denon AV remote control. So this one's a little bit different. It's not as easily found. It goes for a little bit more money. This one sold for $27.99. Here we have an Onkyo. And this is a good brand. I've always found that the Onkyo remotes we find always comp really high, and they sell pretty fast. This one we took a best offer on, so it sold for $40. This is a Lane Bryant women's top, new with tags. So Lane Bryant is a plus-size women's brand, and it is very popular. A lot of women love Lane Bryant, and they will specifically shop for it online, used or no. It used to go for a lot more money, but it's unfortunately one of those brands that kind of got forcefully participated into the race to the bottom. But this top we found for 99 cents. It sold for a best offer of $21.50 and shipped first class. It's a very nice top. It's a dolman top. If you're not familiar with that keyword, dolman is like the bat wing sleeves. So if you ever have a shirt that like the sleeves are connected like this, or they look like bat wings, that's called dolman. And in our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod, up in the photos section, I have albums of photos to help you guys with these types of keywords and these types of blouses. There's shoes, there's jeans. I'm about to add a picture of different bra types. So if you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, you should, for the sheer fact that there's this much information there and resources for you, but also because it's a really great group. It's very positive. Everyone there is very nice, and it's just a really good place to be in a community of other resellers. I also did a video once showing you guys how to use these different resources and find them in our group. So I'll have that pop up at the end of this video as well. I'll have the how to comp promotes, and then how to find and use the different resources in our group. They're really good resources. These are things that you could normally Google or find on Pinterest, but you would spend time digging and searching. You can just join the group, be a member, go to the albums, find what you're looking for: shirts, shoes, jeans, whatever. And you can look at the photos. There's like styles, but as well there's descriptions of different patterns and different I guess patterns is what I want to say, like plaid versus buffalo plaid and stuff like that. There's purses. There's all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't seen the video, it'll pop up at the end. You can watch that and then just join our group. Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. It's where you can pick up little tiny tricks and tips and good keywords like dolman. We have another remote here. This is a Sony remote. Sony and Samsung are like the most popular ones. Whenever we buy a wholesale lot, Sony and Samsung are the ones we have the most of typically. But they sell really fast, and most of them will comp for the 10 to 18 range, and occasionally you'll find one like this one that sold for $21.87. We have a Reebok Philadelphia Flyers hoodie. I know a lot of folks think that Reebok and Nike and Adidas just aren't worth it anymore. It depends on what you have. Flyers is kind of a popular team, I guess. Probably not as much as the Penguins, but people like the Flyers. It's a hoodie. It's not just a t-shirt where there's a million of them on eBay. So keep that in mind when you're outsourcing. The popularity of the team can come into play, and when you're a nerd like me who knows Marvel and nothing about sports, that can kind of be a stumbling block or something you're going to have to learn. But I do know that like hoodies and jackets and jerseys will sell for more money and more quickly than just, there's a million t-shirts out there. So this we found at Goodwill for 99 cents, and it sold for $19.24. It did have to ship in a padded flat. Next up, we have a Chico's jacket. So this is another brand I think a lot of people overlook. It's a good brand. It's a solid bread and butter brand. Chico's, Talbot's, Old Navy, American Eagle, Gap. Those are solid bread and butter brands. If you are okay doing a volume-based business and you don't mind having filler or bread and butter items in your store and you can get them at a cost of goods for $2 or less, those are all brands that you should not be afraid to overlook. Gloria Vanderbilt's another one, especially if it's size 14 or larger. You get into the plus size Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. Those do well as also. So Chico's is still a pretty good brand. It has its own vanity sizes, and I do have a video on that as well, but I can only have 2 videos pop up at the end. So if you need help with your Chico's vanity sizing and how to figure it out, how to do it, and where to get the charts, let me know down in the comments, and I can point you in the direction of that video. It's not that long, and it goes over how to deal with the Chico's brand vanity sizes. But they do have a following. There are women who love Chico's and come online to shop specifically for it. I haven't been doing as well with blazers lately as I used to. I used to sell a lot of blazers and women's suit coats and all brands. But ever since the shutdown, I feel like nobody's really dressing up for work anymore or going to, places where they have to dress up. But I was happy to finally see this one move. It's been around for about a year. Our cost was 99 cents. It sold for 20. It shipped in a padded flat. And it did have a cool print on it. You can see the birds. And I don't know how all these jeans snuck in here. I promise you guys, you'll get a jeans and a plush video this week, as well as a what sold on Poshmark and Macari video for November. Our Macari has blown up, so I need to talk to you all about that, but that'll be later in the week. Next up, we have this Dry Joys men's jacket. It is an extra small, so it took a while to set. We found it for 99 cents. It is a very nice windbreaker. FootJoy is an older brand that not many people are looking for anymore. But for 99 cents, we went ahead and picked it up. Again, it's a men's extra small, so you're going to be waiting a while for that. You're going to be waiting for the 1% of males that wear an extra small to stumble upon your coat. We've had it for about 2 years. So we did take a best offer of $20 just to finally see it go. And they paid shipping on it because we couldn't get it into a padded flat. This is why it's important to pre-package or know what you're doing before you lift your stuff, how you're going to ship it. Had we assumed that this would have fit in a padded flat, we would have been SOL, so to speak. We knew going into listing this that we could not jam it into a padded flat. It went in a box, and they paid for that. So basically, they paid $28.80 all in. Next up, we have J. Crew. This is another brand a lot of folks overlook and think that just doesn't do well anymore. And I still do really well with it. It does better on Poshmark than it does on eBay. In fact, J. Crew is one of the brands featured in the Poshmark parties for preps or whatever it is. It is a good brand. It's solid bread and butter. This came in a wholesale lot. It's about $1.50 cost of goods. Sold for $20.35, and it shipped first class. And last but not least is this very exciting video game. This is an original PlayStation Armored Core project, Fantasma. Now, this does have its original jewel case. It did come in a lot, so we paid about 50 cents for this, I believe. And it's one of those, old video games for those old systems. It just does really well, surprisingly. So don't overlook video games that are old, or don't overlook video games that are for like the older systems. If you see something for Dreamcast or PlayStation, don't be afraid to look it up. Don't pass it up before you look it up, because there's a lot of them that are older or for these old systems that sell for a lot of money that, collectors or hardcore gamers are looking for online. We did take a best offer on this of $80.99. It did ship first class, but because this one sold for $80, we shipped it in a little box. We did it a little bit differently than we do our lower end video games. So that is the highlights from November, minus jeans and plush, which I'll be back with later in the week. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave, guys. It really helps the channel so much. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always leave me comments down below, or join the Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod, and tag me there in a post. Until next time, be productive, go make some money, and as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Bye.